So, hello everyone, welcome to Exampur. I hope you are doing well. So, please do hurry up, join the session, and please do share the session as well. So, today's session is very important because in this session we are going to deal with a very important, and we have three topics with the current aspects. So, please do hurry up, join the session, and please do share the session as well. Okay. So, Divya, very good evening. So, yes. First, we have a very important article with respect to with respect to the UN peacekeeping forces. Okay, Vivek, very good afternoon. So, first article we are going to deal with the very important topic UN peacekeeping forces. Yes, why this this thing was in the news. Yes, definitely we will be discussing. But what are the uh, basic part, or what are the base or other dimensions which is basically associated with this particular topic? Yes, definitely we will be discussing this all. And after that we have another topic with respect to the sugar cane productions. Yes, definitely we have heard about one news. uh, right now India is the largest sugar cane producer. Okay, producer in the world, and second in the export. Okay, so what happens, and this is a second topic, and last one is, yes, definitely, which is basically related to the uh, Russia's Nord Stream pipeline. So why this pipeline, which is in the news? Yes, definitely we will be discussing. Uh, what happens? Actually, we have uh, just a second, just a second. There is just a second. Yes. So this is the first news. Okay. So I think the topic which is not is very new in your from your side. The topic is for the UN peacekeeping forces. What about the news? News is basically for the fatalities, or we can say the attack, which is basically found in the UN peacekeeping forces. So recently, what happened, that UN Under Secretary General reported a growing number of the fatalities among United Nations peacekeeping forces UNPKF in the direct attacks. That is a context. Okay, that is a context. Okay, Dream IS, it is raining here, sir. Okay, I think in UP or in Jharkhand, in Bihar or in Delhi. Please do let me know. So this is the context. Now come to the point. So UN peacekeeping forces was in the news. Okay, but you have to know about what is UN peacekeeping forces and why this UN peacekeeping forces was to establish. Okay, and what are the very basic reason. Okay, that is a very important part. So in this particular topic, in briefly we will go through the uh, UN peacekeeping forces. Okay, UN peacekeeping forces, that is one part. UN peacekeeping peacekeeping forces. Okay, so first thing, the context is the two BSF, two border security forces, uh, recently dead during the attack by the uh, crowd in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The news is all about in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is basically located in the African continent, and this country, basically the Democratic Republic of Congo, this is where the political situation is very bad, or we can say the political instabilities are there. There the securities uh, the security is very not in very up to the mark in the Democratic Republic Congo DRC. So that's why the UN peacekeeping. Why we are discussing this such kind of news? Because here is the two BSF which basically belong to India. BSF, what is it was, which was dead. Okay, that's why I'm using. We are discussing this topic. So UN peacekeeping forces. Yes, this is basically this topic which is important for your mains for GS paper 2, for PSIR as well. So yes, there are the importance or the relevance of this topic is very much more. But what about these forces? Basically, these forces. Why this UN peacekeeping forces, which was established in that time? What happens? First, I just want to go to the background side. What happens in the West Asia, or in simple we can say Israel and the Arab world, and its Arab world. You know that the time is the 1950s, 1960s. The time was very intensified between the Israel and the Arab world. In that time, uh, there was required for peace and stabilities. So, for that reason, the UN initiated some steps with terms of the UN peacekeeping forces. The main motto of the UN peacekeeping forces to establish peace and stability in that region where there is a uh, there is a lacking of peace. There is a very much requirement of peace. There is a war-like situations. So yes, we can say the situations or the reason behind this to establish such kind of UN peacekeeping forces. So in 1948, the time is the 1948. 1948 was the time when this UN peacekeeping force was established. The main motto was to the main motto. The main motto, if you talk about the main motto was the to establish peace, peace and stability. Stability, main motto. But right now, the main objective of the UN peacekeeping forces was more advanced, more wider in nature. Because in that time, when it was just started, in that time, the motto or the objective of this particular UN peacekeeping forces was very limited. But what happens? The after the time or over the time, this the wideness of the objective of the UN peacekeeping forces is much and more. And what happens? The in that time, UN peacekeeping forces was a body which is basically which can neither be involved in the war, and uh, who basically formed with respect to the establish of peace and securities. Okay, so their main motto was to not involved in the war. Okay, main motto was to establish peace and security. So yes, but what about the other aspect? You know about the one agreement between the Arab and Israel. That is very very important, and the agreement was uh, the armistice agreement. Armistice, armistice agreement. This agreement was held between the Israel, Israel and the Arab world. Okay, and its Arab world, for which to establish peace and security. To establish peace and security. But what happens? The armistice agreement. Another agreement was there. For example, United Nations Truce Sub Supervision Organization. There was another example. For example, is the United Nations Truce Supervision Organization. In short, UNTSO. Okay, UNTSO. For these two are very basic reason or basic causes where the UN peacekeeping forces come into the being. So that is a very basic reason. Now come to the next portion, that is In the initial phase, they limit only ceasefire and focused on the stabilizations in initial. Yes, peace stability was there, but in the initial phase, they only focus they only focus on the super the limit supervise limit ceasefire limit ceasefire and and focus on stability. But what about today? The question is, what about the today? So the today, the UN peacekeeping forces involved in the elections. UN peacekeeping forces is involved in the strategic communication. UN peacekeeping forces involved in the uh, to facilitate political processes, to protect civilians. Means the wideness of the UN peacekeeping forces is much more right now as compared to the before. So again, we this UN peacekeeping forces which is involved in the protection and promote of human life and restoring the rule of law. That is the right now conditions. So suppose the question is being asked from the from mains is main mains for UPSC mains that what about the current the relevant or the current natures or the current roles of the UN peacekeeping forces. If anyhow the question is being asked in the current role of the UN peacekeeping forces, you must have an idea about this. Yes, this uh, right now we have a UN peacekeeping forces having a wider role as before, because right now we just I just go through it briefly. First, election commissions, sorry, election in the election process, in the facilitating political processes. Second, promote uh, promote and protect the we can say the human life, protect civilians. Fourth, fifth is the uh, restore rule of law. We have a five major points that we can say right now the role of the UN peacekeeping forces was much more advanced as before. Okay, so these are the basic point. These are the background. Simple in simple terms, these are the backgrounds. Now come to the next point, and in the next point, we just want to know about what are the basic reason for attack in the UN peacekeeping forces. Yes, there are some general points that basically focused for attack. What are the reasons basically behind this? So the basic reasons is the first is the uh, deteriorating political and security environment. If any country, for example, let's say we have a Democratic Republic of Congo, the political and economic environment is so much deteriorated in right now. So yes, this if political structures systems are not stable, are not robust, not responsible, okay, then yes, the insecurities may be there. Insecurity may be there. If political systems are very robust in nature, then yes, definitely we have a strong security systems. So first thing, if you will write this thing, you can write this point as well. But I think I just try to explain one thing more. Uh, first thing is deteriorating political and security environment. Second thing is the threatening uh, by terrorist or threatening of terrorist. I think you should write here. I think so. So first thing, what are the reasons? What are the reasons? Okay, reasons for attack. Reasons for attack. Reasons for attack. So the first reason is deteriorating deteriorating rating political and security environment. Okay, next thing is terrorist terrorism. Okay, and the third is the mandate and the practice. Suppose the uh, UN peacekeeping forces having some mandate that they cannot use war, they cannot use weapons in to establish peacekeeping. Okay, so yes, they have some mandate, but in practice, for the self defense, for the self defense, they must have to use the weapons to for self defense. So in the practice or the mandate, there is very huge gap. So we can use the mandate and the practice is in between mandate and practice. There is a huge gap. Okay. Fourth one is the fourth one is that is again very very important. That is the uh, peacekeeping forces having some limitations. Okay, limitations, limitations, limitations. So yes, limitations. So limitations are there. Next we have a uh, they are not so much attention in the UN peacekeeping forces. So next is the not adequate adequate attention for UN peacekeeping. That means if any death during the UN peacekeeping forces or operations in during the operation, the there I think we should have not witnessed so much attention or in the past, and they are not so much attention for the UN peacekeepers forces. So that is a very big thing. Yes, the life of the UN peacekeeping force is very very important. So we need to give more adequate attention to the UN peacekeeping forces. So these are the five reasons why attack is happening around the world where the UN peacekeeping forces is already deployed. Okay. Now come to the next. That is the what should be the way forward. What should be the way forward? So for the way forward, for the way forward, way forward. First thing, India have a very great plan. A very great plan, a very great 10 points. India's having a 10 points uh, with respect to the UN peacekeeper forces. Okay, so India suggested 10 points plan, but still it is not considered. So yes, we have a one thing that is the whole UN peacekeeping forces, which are basically deployed or operate in different regions. India's 10 points is very very important. You do not need to know about what is the 10 point. Basically 10 points which is basically for the UN peacekeepers, favor of the UN peacekeepers. So first thing, there is the India's India's 10 points 10 points plan needs to be considered. Okay, first thing. Next thing is uh, devise a framework which is basically focused to improve the geographical diversities. Devise framework which basically focused on the uh, geographical diversity or improvement. Device framework means there should be a framework which basically focused. Suppose UN peacekeeping forces deployed in some region, but they do not have any idea about what the geography is all about, about the terrain part. Is it hilly part, plain part, or the mountain part, or the plateau part, whatever. So they must have idea about the geographical regions. They must have idea about the geographical diversities. So we need to improve it. Okay. Third point, which is again very very important, that better equipped, trained, and prepared. Better equipped, better equipped, trained, and prepared. So this is the third point. Next point, Next point is India's focused to build a memorial wall for to honor the UN peacekeepers. Okay, so India basically focused to build build UN peace UN build memorial wall to honor UN peacekeeping forces, means UNPKF. Okay, so these are the some points which basically very important for the what needs of the are of the UN peacekeeping forces. Okay, so these are the way forward. So I just briefly go to the back side, and yes, so we have a UN peacekeeping forces. These are the some basic point, and we have been discussed about the what are the reasons for the attack, and next we have a way forward. Now come to the next, that is a Nord Stream pipeline. What is Nord Stream pipeline? Basically, what happens recently? Leaks were found in the pipelines comprising the Nord Stream pipeline, Nord Stream 1 and 2. Okay, if I am talking about Nord Stream leakage, then I am talking about Nord Stream 1 and 2, located near Denmark and Sweden. What are the reasons basically? Yes, I am discussing about. The leaks happened just before the ceremonial launch of the Baltic pipe carrying gas. Basically, the Poland and the New Zealand, the Poland and the Poland and the Norway. There is some Baltic pipe which is basically launched recently, and there is a ceremonial launch. Okay, and in this time period, basically this step was to reduce the dependency to the Russian natural gas pipelines. So this is where, and in the same date, there is some leakage in the Nord Stream pipeline of Russia. So what this is the basically context. So this is basically context. So what happens? Uh, this is basically in the green line. You can also observe that this green line basically from the Russia of Vyborg. That is a place where the Nord Stream pipeline was, we can say, started from Russia to Germany in Greifswald. Okay. So this is the first pipeline, and the leakage portion which is basically found in that portion. That is a Bornholm. Okay, that is a Bornholm. Bornholm is that place where the leakage was found during the ceremony or launch of the Baltic pipeline. Baltic pipeline between the Poland and the Norway. Where is Norway? Is Norway. So this one. So Poland and the Norway. So when there is pipeline between Poland and Norway. Okay. So this is the when the launching date. In the launching date, there was found some leakage in the Nord Stream pipeline. This is basically Nord Stream pipeline 1. And in the dotted line, we found second NSP, mean Nord Stream pipeline 2. Still, this is not operative in nature, but yes, the Nord Stream pipeline, which is already in operations, and in July 2022, only 20% gas pipelines or natural gas pipelines, which is inoperative in nature. But in August 2022, there is a complete cutoff. There is complete cutoff of supplying the natural gas pipeline to the Germany. Okay, so yes, this was basically decided in the last I think February to March month this year. But yes, the complete cutoff which is basically done in the August month. But right now, what will be the impact, or what basically European countries is suffering right now? Yes, we will be discussing about. But in this map, I just want to uh, indicate one thing, that is yes, this pipeline basically one is very important. The uh, when you have heard about the uh, special economic zone, special economic zone. I think you have heard about the special economic zone, or you have heard about the one thing. Just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Yes. Just a second. Yes. 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 Special economic zone. I think you heard about. And if you one thing is very very important. If you just cross this pipeline of territory of of economic zone, of special economic zone of any country, you have to pay, transit fee. Okay, so for the Nord Stream pipeline 1, Russia had to pay some transit fee of for some or to some countries. But Nord Stream pipeline, which basically for the second version of the Russia's Nord Stream pipeline, for supplying the natural gas to the European country, especially Germany, and still this is not operative. But what about the Nord Stream pipeline 2? This basically pipeline where the businessmen of European country also invested in that particular pipeline. But the what happens? There's some huge pressure on the government in the European country, in Germany. But yes, the government decided that we discontinue the project. We discontinue to taking the gases from the Russia. So right now, Russia is searching the market for their natural gas, and European country basically uh, faces trouble in terms of the shortage of the natural gas, because yes, there are 40% of the natural gas or energy or natural gas, we can say, which is fulfilled, from the Russian side. But right now there are complete cut off. There are complete cut off. So yes, this is the very we can say tough time for the European countries. And in this time we can say the for the Russian country, for the European country. Okay, so what about the impact? What about the impact? What about the impact of this one? Basically, the context is about there is some leakage in the pipeline. But what about the impact of to the Russia as well as the European country? First, I will be go through the European country. Okay, so in the European country, first thing, the 40% of the natural gas which is fulfilled by the Russia. Okay, Russia. Now there is a complete cut off. What happens? There is some kind of inflations, because you have already heard about, if the price of petroleum, of the price of petrol, diesel anywhere. Suppose let's take an example of India. In India, suppose the petrol prices recently we have been witnessed about the increasing price of petrol and diesel. So what happens? The other commodities, other basic commodities, the price of the basic commodities, which is also uh, increased. So that is a very big reason. If the transportation charge increase, other commodities charge also get increased. So same here, when the natural gas which is basically increased, the cut off, there is a shortage of the natural gas. To fulfill the natural gas, suddenly or in the very short span of time, European country or Europe cannot fulfill to this gap. So in the short interval time, the European country faced a very huge inflations, because inflations or in terms of increasing in commodities, in some commodities. Yes, so inflations we have been witnessed here. Some commodities prices drastically increased. Transportation charge, which is basically increased. So yes, energy is tightly related to the other commodities. In simple, we can say. Okay. So we have witnessed this impact in the Europe. Next impact we have been witnessed, that the European businessmen, European businessmen have uh, have a huge investment in the Nord Stream pipeline too. But yes, this is not inoperative, and I think there is no any consensus between the European country and the Russia because due to the Russia-Ukraine war, some countries, because European countries already favoring towards the Ukraine country. That's why European country do not wants to continue with the Russia's natural gas pipeline. So there is a huge pressure from the European businessmen to their government. For example, for Germany, suppose there are some investment which basically having a huge investment in the uh, Nord Stream pipeline too. But right now this is not inoperative. So the businessmen basically starting to create pressure to the government. Please do continue this project with the Russia. Okay. So yes, there is a also interest of the local European businessmen. So there is a very huge losses in terms of energy or in terms of investment. So this is the all about the impactment of Europe. Okay, this is basically European country or European nations. Okay. Now come to the next uh, for the Russia. Okay, Russia. What are the impacts? So in the Russia, you know about one thing: 40% of the budget, Russia's 40% of the budget, which is basically fulfilled from the uh, selling or supplying the natural gas to the European country or other parts of the country. So the 40% of the budget, which is basically fulfilled from the uh, natural gas, natural gas. Now, NSP, Nord Stream Pipeline 1 and 2, both are inoperative. So that's why we can see that there is also a huge impact in the Russian economy as well. But Russia right now in the Samarkand SCO summit, Russia basically demanded that Russia basically was searching the new market or emerging market. So Russia proposed in the Samarkand SCO meeting, we are searching a new market for our natural gas or petroleum products or petroleum. So yes, Russia is basically searching. But what about the European country? European country basically have a huge loss, loss in terms of energy, in terms of natural gas. So, uh, but if we compare these two, European country, Russia, yes, Russia definitely will get a new market or will get a new consumers or countries in terms of natural gas. But what about the European country? European country basically uh, in very short span of time, they cannot find a very good uh, we can say the uh, what we the substitute. Okay, substitute. So move to the next, that is a and one thing more. If you talk about the Nord Stream pipeline 2, one thing again very important, that if uh, the transit fee, Nord Stream pipeline 2 for transit fee related issues was related issues was zero. Okay, so that is a very good point. But right now the condition is very different. Condition is this is inoperative in nature. So I think discussion is not go forward. So this is all about the Russia and impact in the European country. I think two articles we have already been covered. Now come to the next article, and this next article, which is basically from the uh, sugar industries. Okay, sugar industry, sugar productions. So why this topic is in the news? Basically, what happens? The recently India has emerged as the world largest producer. So maybe some kind of questions is asked in the your UPSC prelims, because some kind of questions is already was asked in UPSC for related to the production of the rice. Rice productions, basically in that time production of rice was huge in that year. I think 2019 or 2019 or 2020 was there. I think 2020, 19 or 18 something, not 20. So maybe this time 2023, maybe question may be asked in your prelims in such a way that in not in very straightforward question. Maybe you can find some questions with respect to sugar industries, with respect to sugar productions in very tricky way. Okay, so you must have idea about right now the India's position in the production of sugar is very good and very good in positions. So very good in positions. And next thing is the 5,000 lakh metric tons of sugarcane. That is the data regarding. You don't need to mug up this data, but yes, you have to memorize one thing: largest producers and second largest exporter. That is a context. That is a context. But why? Now, if you are preparing for other one day exams, you only focus on the India is the largest producer of the sugarcane. That's it. But if you are preparing for the UPSC CSC mains prelims, that is, you must have to focus on the other aspect. Why this is happening? Why this is happened? Why India right now is in the good condition of for the production of the sugar? So if you focus on that particular dimension, you must get idea about that. Yes, these are the some particular regions, and what are still challenges are there, and what are the way forward. So basically, first I will be discussing about what are the basic regions right now. So what are the circumstances which basically favored to produce more and more sugarcane? First, I will be dealing with the uh, regions. Okay, regions, regions for producing sugar in India. What are the reasons or what are the circumstances? Okay, so first, first is the season. Season, yes, season for September to October. This 2 month is very important for and very favorable to produce more and more sugarcane. And this because what are the conditions which basically required to produce the sugarcane? And this 2 months is very favorable in nature, very favorable to produce more and more sugarcane. That's why we are producing 5,000 lakh metric ton. Okay, so what happens in this month? There is a huge number of productions, but one factor others are there. Why? Which factors which basically push to produce more and more sugarcane? What is the factor? What is the basic or what are the other factors which are basically behind this? The other factors is the ethanol productions. Ethanol production. Ethanol productions, demand of ethanol production. Why? Because government is also focusing on the ethanol blending, and ethanol basically which is uh, uh, produced or manufactured or is produced from the sugarcane waste or sugarcane, or from the basically the raw material of the ethanol was the is this sugarcane. So if the demand of ethanol is more and more, the demand of sugarcane is ultimately increased. So yes, there is some correlation or interrelations are there. So ethanol productions, why ethanol? Because recently government decided that the ethanol blending should be 20% by 2025. 2025. Okay. So ethanol blending should be on the 2025 and 20% ethanol blending. Okay. So right now the condition is 8%. Not 8%. I think we have been discuss such kind of articles in our editorial sessions. Recently, I think ethanol blending, and not this, I think couple of months before, we have been discussing that ethanol blending, I think 10 to 12%. I think so, because some data which is basically recently released by the government, I think not 10 to 12%. So the government target is 20%, 20% ethanol blending in by 2025. So that's why the demand of the sugarcane is much and more. Okay. Ethanol productions, second reason. Third reason, which is the uh, fair and remunerative prices. Fair and remunerative prices. What is fair and remunerative prices? Remunerative prices. What happens if the sugarcane farmers do not get a fair prices of their productions, that means this basically demotivate the farmers. If they get the fair prices of the productions sugarcane, yes, they motivate and just and involved in more and more productions. Yes, that is a fair and remunerative prices. Again, other example is, let's say there is some contract between some sugar mill industry and the farmers. That's the sugar mill industry basically. There are some contract with respect to the production of sugarcane, that yes, they contract regarding 100 metric tons, let's say, and the sugar mill owners basically uh, uh, there is some very good contact in between farmers and sugar mills. And in the time when the sugar mills owners, in on the time, they when they uh, fulfill, or we can say they uh, fulfill the demand of the contract, or provide the fair prices for their productions. That is again very good plus point in terms of the production of sugarcane. So fair and remunerative prices is our next point, that is very responsible for the higher production of the sugarcane in the last in the last 2 months. Okay. Again is the state advised prices. State advised advised prices, because what happens if a state decided that yes, this is the minimum prices, this is minimum prices, and if a state, suppose a state also involved in the to purchase the sugarcane from the farmers, and state if a state decided that yes, there should be some minimum prices, and every mill owners must have to pay some amount, minimum amount to the farmers, that is which is basically uh, go credit to the state government. So state advice prices, which is very responsible and which is very important for the regions. And the next is Rangarajan Committee. This committee, uh, what happens? This topic is again very important for your mains perspective, because maybe question is asked into your mains examinations. But if your mains examination in September, so don't worry about it. But Rang Rajan Committee of 2012 is very important, and the committee who suggested a few points with respect to the abolition of the quantitative control. With respect to the quantitative control, what does it means? It means that state cannot state cannot control, or center cannot control with respect to the quantitative control. What is quantitative control? Means state cannot say, let's say, the farmers, you should produce something amount or something numbers of sugarcane, something quantitative in terms, that should not be there, that should be abolished. Okay. So this Rangarajan Committee basically recommended some suggestions in terms of abolition of the quantitative control on export and import of sugar. And next one is the states should also undertake policy reforms. Means state should also involve in the policy reforms. So these are the 2 points, and the Rangarajan Committee is basically very important for the sugarcane industry, for the sugarcane industry, not sugarcane industry, for reforms of the sugarcane industry. Okay. So these are the some reasons. So yes, if you have some reasons, you have some point with respect to what this is happening, what are the challenges, definitely you are uh, preparing for the mains examination. Okay. Now come to the next point, that is a uh, what is the mm, what is the present status. Okay. Present status, basically what happens, there are right now we have a 50 million sugar cane farmer, 50 million, and indirectly there are some plus minus are there. But what about India is second largest in the agro based industry. What happens, the agro based industry means which is the industry which is basically based on the agriculture. Okay. India stands for the second in the positions. uh, if we talk about the distributions, the states in the North India the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Punjab, which is basically involved in the sugarcane production. And in the south, we have Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka. Okay. And if you talk about the what are the geographical conditions to be a growth of sugar, what are the geographical conditions? This thing is basically important for your prelims perspective. So what happens? What are the geographical conditions? So the geographical conditions conditions for the sugar cane. So this data is very useful for your prelims perspective only. You can use this data in your math in the introduction part. So the temperature, it must require temperature, it must require 21 to 27 degree centigrade, 21 to 27 degree centigrade. And if you talk about the rainfall, 75 to 100 centimeter. If you talk about the rainfall, 75 to 100 centimeter. Okay. And what about the soil type? In which soil which is very favorable to produce the sugar cane? So the most favorable and the most important, that is a deep rich loamy soil. Okay. Deep rich loamy soil. Okay. And the last one is that is a sugar cane producing state, which is a top. So the top is the Maharashtra, which is right now, which is top. Then Uttar Pradesh, then Karnataka. In the prelims perspective, this data is very important. This data, which soil is very suitable, rainfall, and this data, because you know and you have already seen about in previous questions. Such kind of questions UPSC always ask in your prelims examination. Okay. So I think this is all about this particular session. And if you have any doubt with respect to this one, please do let me know if you have any doubt. Okay. Or if you have not any doubt, so we have first thing. We have in the Hindi medium. First thing I just want to make clear, this is basically for the Hindi medium. So Hindi medium, we have a SARVODAYA batch. If we talk about the features of the SARVODAYA batch, we have a live classes. Okay, we have a PDF notes. There are some facilities, and day-wise study plans are there. Practice sessions, zoomed out sessions will be there. And the next is, if we talk about the benefits of the SARVODAYA, then we have a 1200 plus hours live class, not recorded class. One-to-one mentorship, mains answer writing practice, that is very important for your mains examination. Okay. Lectures, notes in PDF, prelims mock test, live discussions, current affairs programs, doubt clearing sessions are there. Okay. If we talk about the one thing, this offer is valid for basically this course is valid for 1 year, but this offer is valid for 12 October till 12 p.m. So 12 a.m. Okay. So and the cost is very minimum for 999, that is a 5,000 around. And we have a team. For example, we have a geography, history, politics, economics, current affairs. We have a sister team also. Okay. So this is the process of the to enroll in the we can say in the job in the batches. Okay. So these are the past batches, which basically now we have some we can say the discounted prices, that is the IS70. You can avail this thing in the very minimum prices. Okay. This is all about the batches, but still who have not the application form, Exampur application, please go to the Play Store, download the Exampur application app, and just register yourself, and now you can avail all the features which is basically provided in the free as well as in the paid courses. There is unlimited quiz practices, free previous year solved question paper, all India scholarship tests are there, free PDFs, structured paid courses, job alerts, That is a very important. And if you find some uh, challenges to enroll in some courses, you can call in this number 7272 If you cannot connect this number, you have a second option, that this number you can WhatsApp to this number. Our team definitely will contact you. And this is all about these sessions. I hope you really enjoyed these particular sessions, and I think everything is clear to all. And if you have any doubt, please do let me know. Okay, or otherwise, in next class, I think 4 p.m. After 10 minutes, we will again meet with a very interesting session of polity. And today we are going to deal with the new articles of Article 70. Okay, so thank you so much. And Divya, Vivek, thank you so much. So we will meet in the next class. Okay, thank you.